Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Robert Tan. Here we uncover the stories and strategies of how money really moves. Today we take a closer look at the Christmas season in the Philippines, a time of celebration, but also a time when spending pressures put many families at risk of debt. From the 13th month pay to Christmas shopping spree, we ask how can Filipinos enjoy the season without breaking the bank? And joining us this afternoon is David Angway, registered financial planner at RFP Philippines. Good afternoon, David. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Robert. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Now, let's start with this, David. We know Christmas in the Philippines starts very early as September. Now, from your perspective, what spending behaviors make our holiday season unique?
Well, it's a combination of three. We do have family values, faith, friendship, so it creates massive consumerism. So obviously, this last quarter of the year, a lot of businesses will spike their sales and a lot of people will need to spend so that we can exercise our generosity.
Many happy retailers, but with the pockets of our average working class, starting September, talagang in different countries, it's not like this, but here, our Christmas season is very long. So starting September, do we see a lot of spending now?
Yeah.
Not only with the young generation, but also with the older generation?
Yes, we are experiencing a massive growth of consumerism starting September, October, November, and December. I've heard tons of companies nowadays are already giving their 13th month pay as early as October. All right, of next month. So they're going to be experiencing that one, so that to avoid a lot of people going to the malls, right?
Okay. Now, talking about the 13th month pay, it's often treated like a shopping fund, like you've mentioned. Now, what's the smartest way now to use it without ending up broke by January?
Well, it really depends upon the label. So I always recommend to my clients, your 13th month pay should be your second chance fund. So what does it mean by that? So if you want to create your own business for the longest time, maybe this 13th month pay that you're going to be receiving this 2025 might create a spark to that business that you've been longing for. Or probably it's this year, you would like to start a new side hustle. So you can use that 13th month pay as a second chance to uplift your capital and create that business that you really want.
Now, what kind of mindset should we instill to and educate the average working class? And you're saying, don't think about your 13th month pay as something that you spend, but more, let's say, if you have a business idea, use that as your first amount of money to start, or invest somewhere. So where can, let's say, if you have a 13-month pay, where can they invest it now, as early as if they get it in October?
Okay, so for a lot of people, especially the working class, there's a statistics that says that a lot of people are currently broke. They have at least 140,000 pesos in debt. So if you're currently receiving your 13th month pay, maybe you can allocate the 50% to pay off the debt to prevent you from experiencing more financial burdens in the next year. Then the other 30% save and invest, and the remaining is 20%. You can use that to celebrate with your family. Again, you don't really need to spend all for this particular season. Because again, your 13th month pay can be used as a liberty fund, okay, to create freedom for you in the future.
Because as we all know, a lot of families, when it comes to Christmas, we really want to splurge, especially here.
Yes.
It's part of our culture. We invite friends, family, relatives. But as we all know, many Filipinos do suffer from what we call the holiday wallet hangover. Now, what's the biggest cause of this, and how can people avoid it?
Well, actually, peer pressure. So there's a family values that we have that we need to spend so that we can make our families very happy. But contrary to that popular belief, our wallet is currently suffering. So to avoid that kind of problems in the future, well, I always recommend this. Create a system, because that doesn't mean that you do have a huge 13th-month pay. You'll also end up being able to save and invest that majority of the funds. So maybe you can go ahead and simply talk to your local bank and get a enroll your funds to an auto debit arrangement wherein you can actually save more money. So once that 13th-month pay arrive, then it will automatically be transferred to another account, which is way more secured, and you expect that this one's gonna grow and be useful in the future. Especially 2026 is going to be really big at the end of the day.
How can you create that habit when you do your financial literacy courses or seminars? What kind of teachings do you do to be able to get out of that and balancing the YOLO, you only live once kind of mentality, but also how to manage your finances on the long term?
Well, proper allocation is always going to be the key. So you cannot go ahead and simply spend everything today, because obviously there's going to be a future for you in the first place, right? So 50%, you go ahead and use that one probably for all the expenses, bills, groceries, debts, and then the remaining 30%, you'll use that for savings and investments, and the last one's gonna be for the wants as your reward. Now, it's gonna be really hard, Robert, because without monitoring, you'll end up not seeing the whole progress, which is, that's what we want, all right? Filipinos would love to spend everything like there's no tomorrow. But to prevent that thing from happening, I always encourage them that if you do that, you'll end up letting your family suffer as well, because you might end up asking them money sooner or later.
In the past episodes of Follow the Money, we've been discussing with different guests about where to invest the money in bonds, equities, in different types of investment tools. Now, on a financial literacy education standpoint, which you teach, where's the best place that the average working class can put their money? Because some will say, if I put it here and I'm only investing 10,000 pesos, it doesn't really make a big difference unless you do invest, let's say, 100,000 and above a million. That's where you will see a lot of difference. So how do we now educate them that even if it's small, 5,000, 10,000 investment, it will still accumulate in the future?
Well, I just double-checked earlier the mutual funds, specifically the tech mutual funds. Earlier, I just saw there's a 1-year return of 60%. So again, global mutual funds can actually create more money to you right now, especially the local equity markets are not that really good as of the moment. So it's currently sideways for the longest time. That's why I always recommend to my clients, try UITF, try mutual fund, but stay away for the meantime in the local equity, but move your funds through the global equity mutual fund.
You said stay away in local equity. Why?
Because you're not going to be expecting too much of a return right now. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. Well, this last quarter, we're going to be expecting an uptick, but unlike mutual funds, compared to the index, global mutual fund versus the local equity index that we have right now, we're not going to be seeing more than 5% return at the end of the year. So I always ask my clients that it's time for you to move to the global equity nowadays.
Now, how can they do that? For those who are not too savvy in where to go, where to invest, who to look for. There's so many. You can go insurance, like you said, VOLs, UITFs. You can go to companies that do brokers and all that.
Yes, that's correct.
You know, when there's too many to go to, sometimes they don't really know which is the best way to invest. There are some that you can do online, but
Yes.
then with the advent of scams and all that, people are scared. So, on your standpoint, for those who are just new to this, where can they go?
Well, you need to go directly first to the right avenue, which is number one, you contact your local financial advisor that you know that has a license with mutual fund, not only with VUL products, so that they can offer you a good financial solution at the end of the day. So you can go directly to the brokerage company and you start doing research. The one thing that I really love within the Philippines, there's this website called pifa.ph wherein you can see all the mutual funds and its return from 1 year up to the 10th year. So you can compare all the really good rates at the end of the day. You can start for as low as 5,000 pesos. I believe a lot of workers nowadays will be receiving at least close to 25 up to 35,000 pesos. So your bonus, at least 1/5 of it can help you a lot, especially towards the next year.
Now, when you look at that, it really depends on the risk appetite
Yes.
of the investor. So, if for someone who doesn't really have a huge risk appetite, where can they go? Is it still bonds?
You can go directly with the money market, all right? But the money market is, again, low risk, low return. You can go directly with the bonds. If you're a bit moderately conservative, you can go directly with the balance. And lastly, if you're high-risk investor, then go with the equity.
Oh. Now, going back to spending, the Filipino trait, the peer pressure, and we always have this saying, the utang na loob often pushes us to overspend. Now, how do we show now generosity without having to wreck our finances?
Well, you need to prepare ahead of time. So if today is September and you still have 4 months to go, right? So again, list down all those people that you would like to give back. Create a generosity fund so that you won't be able to touch your emergency fund, right? Okay? Because some people out there are using their emergency funds to buy gifts, which is not a really good idea.
Not too wise.
Yes, that's correct. Because if something happens to you in the middle of the last quarter, then you'll be having a hard time bouncing back.
Now, looking outside of the working, the salary that they get, the 13th month that the workers get, let's look at credit cards.
All right.
Now, credit card promos during this time, ang dami niyan. Promos of buy now, pay later offers, very tempting during Christmas. Now, should people avoid them, or can this still be used responsibly? What would your advice be?
Well, I always say these things to my clients. So check the ROI before you buy, Robert. Okay, so let me repeat. Check the ROI before you buy. So
for those who don't know, what's ROI?
Return on investment.
Yes.
So if and when I'll be using my credit card to buy a certain gear. So for those people who love photography, videography, and content creation, if you buy these items,
Gadgets, yeah.
will this create ROI, and for how long? Okay, before you'll be able to have this, okay, have this money back. So for those people who are not really reflecting a lot, they'll end up getting a buyer's remorse, which is regretting.
Maraming ganon.
Yes, that's correct. So I've heard a lot of people who bought tons of gears, and then all of a sudden it's like they realize this one, Robert, di pala ako pang vlogger. All right, so
and the sad part, after they buy it, let's say they buy it brand new, let's say 25,000.
Yes.
After you buy it, when you resell it, ang baba
Yes,
na.
that's-
And hindi ka pa tapos magbayad sa credit card.
exactly, and that's the main reason why we call these things gear acquisition syndrome, and they'll end up piling things up, and sooner or later they'll end up getting bankrupt because they weren't able to create money from those gears.
How can we take that idea about the credit cards being free money?
Well, for a lot of Filipinos, yes, I agree. They thought about that one. But again, it's a wrong mindset at the end of the day. So we need to reframe that. It's like the reason why credit card companies are giving you tons of credit limit is because they believe that you do have the credibility and ability to pay. But unfortunately, if you're not going to be doing that, then your credit rating itself will suffer. Your name will also be suffering in the future.
We see there's data that there's high credit delinquencies. Yes, a lot of non-performing loans in the credit card area. So they're seeing that as maybe it's alarming.
Yes, that's correct. Well, but again, there's a multi-factor why a lot of people are delinquent as of the moment. It's like when they say delinquent, it means that you're late. You're always late when it comes to paying things. And at the same time, you're not capable of paying everything within 30 days. So there's a lot of factor for that, but one of it will be mismanagement and mental accounting. Instead of writing things down, they're not doing anything good. It's like they're just waiting for the e-statement.
Still a lot to be learned. But David, we still have much to discuss, but we'll take a short break. Follow the money. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Follow the Money. Still with us is David Angway, registered financial planner at RFP Philippines. Now, David, I want to talk about the spending habits of Filipinos, compulsive buying, especially now in this Christmas season. Every month you have those sales, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, and all that. How can we escape that during this time and really think about how can we create more wealth? Not just buying something compulsively and then later having buyer remorse.
Well, number one thing is out of sight, out of mind. So I believe that for those people who are currently watching right now and they experiencing these types of problem nowadays, the addictive behavior, the dopamine,
social media.
Yes, the e-commerce is already trying to gamify the system so that you're always be excited from the 9:09 to 9:15 to 9:30, right? So every
mga live selling pa, di ba?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. So again, it's like we are a huge consumerism in terms of our economy. Now, to prevent these things from happening, I believe that you also need to gamify your own systems. Like if you keep on getting broke every single payday, then it's time for you to make some change. The number one thing that you need to do is to uninstall. It's time for you to uninstall all those things. But I do have a lot of BNPL, buy now, pay later apps. But remember, it starts with one app, and then it will compound, and sooner or later you'll be able to recover.
Well, hopefully. Now, let's talk about the OFWs and the employees who see Christmas as, again, the time to give back. How can they celebrate meaningfully without creating, again, long-term debt? How can we do that without really splurging too much?
You know what? You need to start and understand what's your ceiling. Because a lot of Filipinos out there is like they're going to be back here, right? And I know a lot of...
Kasi iba, I'll earn it naman next month.
Yes, yes. And I know a lot of people who will be celebrating, not here in Manila, but in the provinces. They're going to be announcing their arrival. So stop doing that, please. You know why? Because it will attract more people that... and you will end up getting out of budget along the way. Now, to prevent these things from happening, it's like, it's like you start listing down all those family members that you really loved and then start buying gifts for them. Now, again, allocation is also a really good thing. That's why you need to understand your ceiling. So for this month, you're going to be back here in the Philippines. For the last 2 years, you're not here. So you're going to be spending at least 200,000 in 1 week. It's going to be really good, but make sure that it's a drop in the bucket of your savings.
Now, we all know that as parents, parents do want Christmas to be magical for their children. Now, on a financial standpoint, how can families create joy while teaching their kids financial discipline, starting them young?
Well, remember, money is just a store of value. So we need to create value first so that we can experience that money or the reward system. So I advise all those parents out there to give your kids simple chores. Again, okay, start with very small, and then you'll end up letting them know that they're becoming more responsible. Add up to it, and then gamify the whole system, and add incentives so that these kids will end up not entitled, but very responsible adult and accountable as well.
Now, in your observation, every year, does it become a vicious cycle that overspending? Is this because of lack of financial literacy? Is there something that either the private sector or the public, the government can do in schools to educate children early on in terms of financial discipline? Is there enough education about that?
Well, there's no specific education that's pointing directly to that area as of the moment, Robert. But I believe it starts with within your place, within your house. The financial literacy program should start within the home, not at school. You know why? Because the ending here will be like the kids were influenced by the behavior of their parents. Regardless of what other people will say outside, definitely the parents will still be the first teachers along the way. So if we want to reduce that kind of cycle along the way, it's like the debt cycle of every Filipino, I believe that it starts with the reflection within the family.
Now, when we look at on the business side of it, of course, a lot of business would want people to spend a lot. Now, how can businesses now also help in terms of trying not to really maybe promote too much? I don't know. It might work on the bad side for them because all businesses do have to earn profit. But then, is there a certain responsibility that the businesses should have in terms of, especially now from September to December, we see a lot of spending and a lot of those who really go into debt in buying their products. Is there a certain responsibility on the business side?
Yeah, I believe that there's this so-called CSR within the organization, corporate social responsibility, wherein they ask financial planners to go directly and teach about financial literacy within the workplace. And it works for some kind of organization, but the goal there is to create a community of savers, investors, and not just debt management, right? So that's the responsibility of every organization, whether it's a huge one or part of SMEs. Well, we always encourage them to create a financial literacy program.
I think more education is really needed in terms of financial literacy, so at least all families can overcome that, especially those who are getting heavily in debt, especially those who really are compulsive buyers, especially now everything's on demand. You can get it online. You don't have to go to the brick and mortar stores. Now, David, let's now go to our rapid fire questions. You know this. You just have to answer yes or no. You don't have to explain your answer. Let's start with this. Is it smart to spend your entire 13th month pay in one go? Yes or no? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Should Filipinos start saving for Christmas as early as January?
Yes, of course.
Definitely. Is borrowing money for gifts ever a wise move?
No, man. No.
Don't get into debt, right? Okay. Can a budget-friendly Christmas party be just as fun as a lavish one?
Yes.
Do you agree that the best Christmas gift isn't always bought in a store?
I agree.
And finally, David, complete the sentence. Money is the root of all
stress.
Especially during Christmas. David, thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. And also, hopefully, a lot of our viewers are able to learn about financial literacy more. Be educated, spending wisely, don't be too compulsive in spending, and have that mindset of investing their 13th month pay. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Robert.
And when it comes to Christmas and spending, the words of Mother Teresa offer a timeless reminder. Love begins at home, and it is not how much we do, but how much love we put in that action. The Christmas season in the Philippines isn't just about celebration, it's also about how wisely families manage their holiday budgets. From the 13th month pay to gift-giving traditions, the choices we make can spell either a joyous start to the new year or a financial hangover. And as we celebrate the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, David Angway reminds us that discipline, generosity, and smart decisions can make the holidays more meaningful. I'm Robert Tan. Stay curious, stay sharp, and always follow the money.